As we go to air tonight, an American evangelist named Benny Hinn will have arrived in Australia to preach to thousands at his crusades. Trouble is, Benny Hinn is a fake, a dangerous fake. What he does is prey on the sick, the desperate and the gullible. The advertisements for his Australian tour say, "Miracle Crusade, come expecting to receive your miracle." Well, that's simply a lie. What we've discovered is that if you go, you'll be touched for donations and be caught in a piece of showbiz trickery. This Palestinian-born preacher man, with a morning show each day on Channel 10 and annual earnings of around $100 million, is just a shameless salesman selling false hope.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory.
When Benny Hinn last brought his crusade to Australia in January, over 20,000 people turned out each night to see him perform at Melbourne's Myer Music Bowl. They came to see the so-called Miracle Man, one of the superstars of televangelism.
I just don't know what to say.
What?
Just thank you, Jesus.
His daily broadcast is seen in about 80 countries.
Oh, Jesus, what can we say but thanks? What can we say but thanks?
Benny Hinn is a faith healer. At every crusade, people claim he's worked a miracle for them, curing all kinds of ailments.
Where was the pain?
Right here in the back.
Bend down. Hold this. Where?
There, it's gone completely.
The headquarters of the Miracle Man are in Orlando, Florida, not far from that other magic kingdom, Disney World. But getting to meet Benny wasn't easy. His gates were closed to us until we told him we were going to do our story with or without his blessing, or that of his guardian angels.
I would wake up at nights and I would see angels in my room. At first, I did not really understand it. It was very, it's even now hard to describe really what they look like.
What did they look like?
They looked like you and me, except you can see through them.
Wings and halos?
No, I did not see any wings. I don't remember any wings. But very light, very lit up, almost like a misty type of a person.
The first guy on the front row there, on the left, next to the empty chair, straight in.
Benny's real guardian angels are his army of TV producers and directors.
Stand by 3. Well, that was only inevitable. Coming to 3.
They choreograph his performances. They milk the emotion, building the excitement towards each night's well-rehearsed finale.
Touch! Pick it up! Touch! 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 Come on! Touch!
It's all fall down from a dozen different camera angles.
Anybody can do it. It has nothing to do with God. It has to do with suspending critical judgment.
The Reverend Ole Anthony runs a Christian watchdog group in Dallas. He and his staff have studied the Benny Hinn show for years and say it's just a carefully orchestrated exercise in mass hysteria.
Well, first of all, you're at the first level of hypnosis when you go into the crusade. Well, then you see, you've been programmed by seeing it week after week on television of people falling down when he blows on them. And then you go there expecting that to happen. And then the music, and the repetitive music, and the lighting, and the crowds, and the monosyllabic singing all creates this environment. It's just like a stage hypnotist.
Because he's passing out gifts for you.
A man told me one day, he said, "You are better than P.T. Barnum." I said, "Oh, well, thank you. But let me tell you something. This is purely the power of God, whether you accept it or not."
But
That's
you and
correct.
I know, Benny, that they fall over because of the power of suggestion, not the power of the Lord.
Well, that's your opinion. That's absolutely, no.
You've seen the same trick.
No, my friend, listen, let me tell you something. Now, when I lay hands on people, they do fall. Why they fall, I don't know.
But if you laid
But-
hands on me here and now with the cameras on,
Nothing will happen.
you couldn't make me fall down.
No, because there's no anointing right now. You got to understand something.
No, because there's no way in the world you could make me believe in what you say.
No. Well, again, Jeff, that is something you feel and believe. Yet thousands of people who've attended our meetings. I've been in this thing for 25 years.
A lot of practice.
No. If you think that I can fool all those people, then I am, you can't fool all the people all the time.
Just stretch your hands towards me in your homes and come put your hands across that screen. All that is the act of faith. That's all it is. Touch every person watching.
When Benny Hinn urged the sick in his television audience to seek healing from his hands, among the desperate who reached out were Joanne and Paul Roach of Brisbane. Joanne had just been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
I became paralysed for 3 months there. I couldn't move my arms or my legs. I woke up cross-eyed. My face all went over to one side.
Did you see it as an illness or as Satan?
Oh, attack from Satan, definitely, yeah.
Satan can put infirmities on anybody. It's up to our belief in God that we will be healed from them.
Let's not play games with our eternity.
When the laying on of television hands didn't work, Joanne and her husband Paul went along to the pastor's Brisbane crusade.
I prayed to God and I said, God, if I really believe that you're going to heal me today, and went knowing, I had a knowing feeling that I was going to be healed that day.
Multiple sclerosis is an incurable disease.
That's right.
Not for God.
If you're cured, it's a miracle.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
God's a God of miracles. He's a good God.
You believe you're totally cured?
Yes.
You believe you've had a miracle?
That's right.
When we joined Benny Hinn on a crusade in Albuquerque, thousands of desperate people turned up to buy what Benny is selling, a commodity called hope.
Televangelism is a $3.5 billion a year industry in America alone. Benny Hinn is now we estimate, I think very conservatively, that he'll take in $75 million this year.
As Benny's World Outreach Centre is registered as a church, all of the money the faithful will stuff into these envelopes is tax-free. And once you're on his mailing list, you're a target for computer-driven mail order soliciting.
We call it a wheel of fortune. It's how they get names and addresses. And their crusades, like Benny does when he comes to Australia, their crusades are just their television set. And so the whole purpose of them is to develop a mailing list. And in that mailing list, when people call in for prayer or write for prayer, then those names are carefully nurtured and a very, very sophisticated system of money raising happens.
I want you to send a special love gift. It's going to the Lord. Look, it doesn't go to me. It goes to Jesus. It goes to his work.
Isn't it about money? Isn't it about these
Well, of
envelopes?
course. Jeff, we have to collect offerings. I do not apologize for that, because we have to pay our bills like anything else. We have to pay for television time. We have a staff of 500 people that we have to pay. So, I mean, money has got to be a part of it.
But didn't Jesus drive the money men out of the temple?
These people that were selling and buying at the temple were making a business out of God's house.
And this says on here, Benny, your church says Benny Hinn World Outreach Inc.
Right.
You're a business too.
Yeah, but let me
And
explain that.
didn't Jesus tip your tables over? Didn't he overturn the vendors? Didn't he drive them out of the
Yes,
temple?
But again, if you read the gospel as the gospel states,
I have.
what had happened, it's quite simple. These individuals were not out to serve God. They were out to serve themselves.
If I had to have a big financial miracle, I would not give $1.
Right.
I would give a big sacrificial seed, believing God for the harvest.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
To keep the millions rolling in, Benny has to keep rolling out the miracles.
And I have been in pain since February.
And now?
And now I don't have any.
Pick up your legs, pick up your legs. Run over here, come on, run, 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 run. Big God bless you.
A year ago, they said I have asthma. And it was 8 years ago this month when he shot me, and I know Satan just came back to tell me that I'm not healed, and I'm healed. And tonight when we were praising the Lord, he touched me. He touched me, and I'm healed. And I praise God.
Will you ask the Lord to heal you, sweetheart? Go ahead.
Jesus, will you heal me?
Before each show, Benny's staff go looking for the most telegenic and gullible characters. They have no way of knowing whether these people even have the illnesses they claim. The very first woman you brought up on stage in Albuquerque was presented by you as being cured, a miraculous walk. But we saw her walking and chatting with one of your staff before your show even began.
Let me tell you something. That woman was a fake.
So you admit you have fakes?
My friend, we have fakes all the time that come up on the platform and tell me they've been healed.
You turn those.
Wait.
You turn the fakes into part of the show.
No. You cannot. When I tell people, if you believe you've been healed, as you heard me tell, line up on the sides, and they do. And then we have people down below who check them. We cannot be 100% perfect every time.
We have a victims hotline where people call us with their stories. And the stories are endless of people who had loved ones die after they were proclaimed on television that they were healed. Having little children told that they were healed of hearing or eyesight or innumerable. And then in the excitement, yeah, I'm healed. And they leave the crusade and they still can't see, they still can't hear. And they tell them, well, the reason you weren't healed is because there's secret sin in your life. Or the reason you weren't healed is you didn't give enough money.
Has anyone really been healed in Benny Hinn's ministry?
In our research, there's not been one person that was healed.
But you're still on television, on your platform, making claims of miracle cures that you offer no proof at that moment.
Yeah, but
look,
again,
if I go on television, I say, look, I've got a magic pill, Benny.
Yeah, but you are
This is a magic pill that can cure any disease on earth.
But Jeff, I want to please
I'd
correct you.
break the law, wouldn't I?
I want to correct you for the last time. I do not say to the individual, you're healed. They're telling me they've been healed.
But
so we're not the ones claiming they've been healed. They're the ones claiming they've been healed.
And that's the danger with Benny Hinn's ministry. When he laid hands on Laura Twilley 2 years ago, she told everyone it was a miracle cure.
I have cancer all over my body, and I haven't been able to walk at all, or pretty much stand, and I'm doing pretty good now.
She even threw away her cancer-fighting drugs. But within 2 months, she was dead.
That was her last option because the doctors were not delivering the type of results that she wanted. And when it came down to the end, she was crushed.
Laura had told her husband, David, and their children she wouldn't need doctors anymore. She was putting her faith in Benny Hinn and his helpers.
They prayed for her and told her tonight was going to be her night to be healed and that she would be cured and she would not need the chemo and the radiation and all of the narcotics that she had been taking for the pain.
According to her husband, she left that auditorium instructed by your staff not to go ahead with her chemotherapy, her radiation, or even her pain relief because she'd been healed.
I would like to know who the staff member was who said that to her. I won't allow my staff to say such things. And if my staff said that to that gentleman, I will call this man myself and apologize and fire the staff member who said it. Because it's not right to tell people that.
But it's not an isolated case. The woman buried here in Houston, Texas, Joyce Vaughn, was another one of the so-called miracle cures at a Benny Hinn crusade.
Pastor, this lady had lung cancer. She was in this wheelchair. As you were ministering, she felt a heat come on her chest. Now she breathes freely, no pain whatsoever. She's been healed by God's power this morning.
Her daughter Jackie says Joyce too was persuaded to turn her back on her doctors.
One of the staff had told her she did not need her medicine anymore because Benny Hinn says she was healed.
What did her doctor say when she decided then that she was not going to have the chemotherapy?
He was very upset because she needed the chemo. She needed it. And if God was going to heal her, she would be healed either way. And she fought with that. She tried to call them for questions, the staff at Benny Hinn.
You know the case of Joyce Vaughn, the Houston woman?
I'm sorry, no, tell me about her.
Joyce Vaughn did come on your platform and was presented as having a miracle cure of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She died. Before she died, to the distress of her doctor, she said she'd been instructed by your staff not to go ahead with her chemotherapy.
That is absolutely untrue.
She called to ask them questions because she was so uncertain about everything. No one returned the calls. She never could get a hold of anybody. And so by the time that she decided to go back and take the radiation, it had grown.
Did her doctor believe that if Joyce had gone on with the chemotherapy, the cancer may have been beaten?
Oh yeah, or stayed in remission at least.
Doesn't that worry you that in fact her life may have been shortened having fallen under the spell of this?
It bothers me if a staff of mine told her to quit medication or chemotherapy. I have never said that to anyone.
I can tell you here under the anointing, it'll never come back. You will never, ever, ever. Now don't hug me too.
He's not giving people hope any more than Las Vegas is or the lottery is. He's giving people false hope. And false hope should always be exposed, should always be spoken against.
And now you're healed.
Yeah, I feel healed. I feel fresh. I feel alive again.
The truth is, the Benny Hinn crusade is out of control. He does create false hope and misguided zeal.
Don, just lift your hands and thank him for the privilege.
And those who suffer most are the believers who've fallen under his spell, like Queenslander Joanne Roche. With your permission, we spoke to your doctor, and he tells us that you're in remission.
The truth is, I know that I'm healed. I know that I'm healed, and nothing can tell me I'm not. It's not remission, it's healing.
You believe God can cure you anyway?
God's already done it through Benny Hinn.
A young lady that had been deaf from the age of 4 years old with MS was healed this morning completely.
Until her so-called miraculous healing, Joanne was using an antiviral drug, betaferin, to stabilize her multiple sclerosis. Since Benny Hinn came to town, she believes she doesn't need her medicine. Now, your GP still believes that you should be using the betaferin, that this would manage the illness and possibly delay an attack of acute MS.
Right, well, he hasn't had an encounter with God, and we have, and we know that we're healed. Oh, I'm healed, and God, and Paul knows it too, because he can see the difference.
But has God asked you to stop using the medicine?
There's no need to use it.
There's no need, no.
There's no need because we're healed.
Yeah.
I'm healed.
What worries me most is the woman with MS is not taking the medication that would stabilise her illness. Her doctor says she still has MS. After seeing you, she's convinced she's healed.
Okay.
Would you look in that camera and tell her she should take her medication?
Absolutely. I want everyone watching me in Australia to please listen to me, Benny Hinn. I don't care what else you've heard from other people. If you believe you've been healed watching our program, or if you came to the crusade, please go to your doctor, have him check you before you get rid or throw away your medication.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Would you also tell Australia that you're a man, not a messiah?
Absolutely. I'm a fool. I'm very, very much a man. I've never claimed to be a messiah or anyone special. I was in Ghana just recently. We had 500,000 people show up, and a man was raised from the dead on the platform. That's a fact, people. That's a fact. A man was raised from...
When Benny Hinn's show moves on, he doesn't get to see the sadness of the families left in his wake. Laura Twilley's daughters write to their mother every week, still trying to understand how she could die after her miracle.
On one side, Laura was telling them that I'm healed. You know, Mommy's better. I'm not going to need the chemo and the radiation. But yet, on the other hand, when she died, that was the hardest thing for me to do, is to walk in that night and tell the girls that their mother was gone. You know what we're going to do? What are we going to...
Send these to Mom.
Wait a minute, not yet. But why are we going to send them up to Mommy?
Because we love her.
Okay, let go, girls. There they go. Let go, Sarah. Let go. Let go.
What is the hardest thing, and I don't think he understands this, is when he puts up this hope, this expectation, and yet it doesn't come through. When the cameras are turned off and the lights are out and he's out of the building, you're left there all alone by yourself. And you have to pick up the pieces and move on.
The only miracle I can see you've worked is that people in 80 countries believe that you can cure incurable diseases. That's a miracle.
Again, I will say it one more time, and with that, I'm done. That I do not cure, never have, and never will I use my position to hurt or harm anyone or take hope away. And with that, thank you.